Welcome back to another episode of the Hello C is Dorsey podcast. I have Teresa Song, your beauty image coach, on the podcast today. How are you doing today, Teresa?
I am doing great. How are you, Candice?
I'm doing well. Yay. So tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Well, hello, everybody. My name's Teresa, and I am a beauty image coach.
Yeah.
And I pretty much what I do is I help women be seen and be noticed and be hired.
I love it, love it, love it. We're going to dive into that. So let's talk about the inspiration behind you starting your business. What was that like for you?
Uh, my inspirations come from a lot of things. It comes from, being me being aligned to what I feel like my heart wants to do and to be out there. And it really comes down to the fact that I just want to help women grow. I want to see us go to our highest potential, what we can do. And I specialize in women entrepreneurs because I want to help women reach where they want to go in their business and in their life.
I love it so much. We're all fighting for attention, whether it be online, offline, or whatnot. But being visible is definitely key, especially in business. So, can you remember a time in your business, or it could be life, where you had a hello moment?
Yes, well, let me tell you how I started this. My background is I am a makeup artist. I'm a hairstylist. And I've been in that industry for 15 years. And I was doing like celebrity clients. I was doing working with photographers. I was doing editorials and magazines. I was doing like New York Fashion Week. And then I want to say maybe like 5 years ago, maybe six, closer to six. This was a few years before COVID. I started working with branding photographers. Okay, and these photographers were basically helping these female entrepreneurs launch their business, their websites, their headshots, and basically helping them be noticed and making them stand out within their business. And for me, they would hire me as their hair and makeup person, sometimes wardrobe. And I pretty much I don't need to brag about myself, but I'm going to brag about myself a little bit. I was pretty much, in charge of like really their look. I kind of made if you were to pick like one word to describe yourself as an adjective, like I was kind of like the person behind the scenes that made your clients feel that word that you describe yourself as. And so that's what started for me. And then I became very passionate about it to help women be noticed. It could even be like this lady is, hitting her 60th birthday, right? Or it could be, just like what I just said, like women wanting to launch their business. And ever since then, I realized like, oh my goodness, I'm really, really good at this. I'm really good at what I do. And people are coming back to me more for advice. Like, oh, you helped me, visually, you made me look like myself, but just a better version, but also very professional. And people found that very, very approaching. And so when my clients then came to me for that, then I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can visually help women basically visually tell their clients on how they want to be seen and how they want to feel when people see them to hire them for their services. And ever since then, I've just perfected my craft. I've worked on and still continuously learning from coaches and branding coaches and imagery coaches, just to how to perfect what I can bring to my clients.
I love the details in what you do because we talk about branding, but we talk about it so much online as far as like a business, but not you as the brand. Am I close or am I kind of like Candace, you're off? That's not what I'm talking
No, no,
about.
no, you are very close.
Okay, good.
This is the easiest way I describe it, right? So I am like a little bit of branding, a little bit of like coaching, a little bit of imagery, a little bit of marketing, but in like the outer picture of all this is like if you were to imagine, right? If you were imagine, I'll say I'll take realtors for as an example because everybody knows a realtor in their life. My best friend is a realtor. If you were a realtor in a room full of like 100 realtors, right? So what are you going to do and what's going to make you different that what's going to make me want to hire you out of all the 100 realtors in that room? And that's kind of like what I do. That's when I step in and kind of bridge that gap. I can't tell you all my secrets, but this is what's going to make you unique for people to hire you, for people to notice you, that you're going to stand out in front of all the other realtors in the room. So that's like the easiest description that I can say, but everybody's different. Every industry is different, every niche is different, but generally that's how I bring myself to you.
Yeah, when you say what makes you stand out, like if a real estate agent comes to me, and I'm a realtor as well, but I need to renew my license. That's another conversation for another day. But for me, if somebody mentioned Disneyland or cats, I'm in. We're signing. We're like best friends because I guess it's that personal level, personal touch. Or if they're wearing something like, and I know real estate agents aren't supposed to be wearing stuff like this, but maybe if they have like a Mickey sock or something like that, or something related to that, that kind of like
Yeah.
shift my focus and be like, hey, I want to talk to that person a little bit more, even though it's a whole bunch of people in the room. So yeah, I get it. I get it 100%. I love this so much. Let's switch here. So
Yes.
we have a lot of people who have online businesses who's predominantly online. They're trying to, be seen and heard in a crowd. They're not offline, but they're more online. Let's talk about the importance of being visible more for online business owners.
Oh, great question. I feel like this is the question that I feel like most of us are, I feel like we're afraid of because it's an online present. We're more vulnerable online than what we would be not offline, right? And I want to like start off before I even touch that topic. I want to start off that the future of how we are as business people in general, that this society and this generation is moving towards online. Okay. Everything is social media based, everything is, TikTok based, right? I say that as the younger generation. So everybody is online now. Everything that is accessible by our phones. You can do anything with your cell phone nowadays, right? And so if you are not out there physically promoting your butt off about your business, about your product, about your service, how are people going to find you, right? How are people going to find you? And now there's many platforms out there. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's LinkedIn, other types of networking stuff. There's Lineable, there's Meetup. Like, what are you doing to make yourself be seen and be known? And how active are you on there, right? So it's important just to think moving on in the future that this is how it's going to be, and we do have to, in a way, cater to our future, that unfortunately people aren't doing in-person things as much anymore, right? And I think after COVID, this just spiked up for all of us. So your online presence is huge. I think it's almost needed. You don't need to have everything, but just narrowing down onto one specific, internet platform for yourself is very important. And building your community within that is very important.
I agree totally. And in the matter of like building a community, definitely, Facebook, I would say, is definitely number one as far as like building some sort of online community. And then we have the offline communities at school, but finding your tribe, finding your people and putting them in one place. I'm starting to think about that now.
Right,
How
right.
important it is because, like you said, so many different things and going on. So I'm like over here on Instagram, I'm over here on TikTok, I'm over here on YouTube, but everybody is so scattered and just like bringing those people together and having that community. And I definitely think that that will definitely help you stand out in a sea of sharks. It's
Mhm.
it's like
You
really
know,
bloody waters.
And it's funny. I was just having this talk with another colleague of mine the other day, and we were talking about the different platforms of social media, right? And we're talking about like the age demographics. So, like, I always, invite any entrepreneurs to think about like the demographic on each platform, right? So, let's just say if your target clientele are people in their 20s or maybe females in their 20s. Well, maybe Instagram is your niche, is your main source of platform because that's where women are. Okay. If you are, let's just say, if your target audience is maybe a mom in their 30s, Okay, I think maybe Facebook, that's probably where you want to be marketing yourself, right? And if you're maybe like that tween, like the tweens, I call them, TikTok, just infomercial, and just people that want to click, 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 then TikTok is probably where you want to be, and then it's like LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I feel like is like a range, but LinkedIn, at least to me, which I'm most active on, is it's just business professionals. It's a huge network of, everybody and anybody, but it's a business platform, so it's like it's interesting to think that, every single platform has their own type of demographic of people and who's on there, right?
It's definitely controlled
Yeah,
because not everybody, I mean, I'm not on there that much, but when I do scroll through it, I see a rant once in a blue moon. But people are definitely on there being intentional and especially being intentional with their posts. Like it's no fluff. Like they telling you market updates, they're telling you how the economy is, they sending videos. It's informative. It's an informative platform.
very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I need to get on there a little bit more, but a lot of past employers on there, and I'm like, don't be snooping around what I'm doing, okay?
Well, just remove them from your connection. It's always like I was telling somebody, and continuing that conversation, I always tell people, you make your social media the way you want it to be made. It's not a negative thing. It's only negative because you made it negative, unfortunately. Sorry, this might hurt some feelings. But, so like my feed is, plants, travel, food, motivational quotes, dogs, gardening, because that's what I choose to watch and that's what I choose to put on my feed. Even like my personal page, even though on the backside I'm a makeup artist, I don't follow any makeup stuff. I follow my friends, but I don't really want to see that kind of content. Like I prefer to see some travel bloggers, I prefer to see chefs cooking, but that's just me. And I love being on my feed because it makes me happy.
I love this. Thank you so much for pointing that out. That is
Yes,
definitely the
it's so
truth.
important.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because mine's is personal. My personal feed is more of Disneyland and cat videos. And
Yep, I got Disneyland too. I follow a Disneyland food blogger, and tells
yes,
you all the places to get all the good food at Disneyland,
yes,
and it's very important. I don't want to see what influencer is doing what in the Turks again with what designer bag she's wearing and what she's buying. No, I don't care for that.
yeah.
I don't get sucked into that. So make your social media what you want it to be, please.
If you think about it, it is the truth because, like, that's where a lot of I say emotional anxiety. People say, I have anxiety. I'm like, don't claim that. But when you're on like the phone, I can feel it like creeping up, especially when you're scrolling through, the feed and everything, and things pop up and you compare and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not where this person is or that person is, and that causes a lot of emotional stress, anxiety, depression. And like you said, make your feed what you want it to be. And I don't think
Hmm.
that a lot of people understand that you can actually do that. If you don't like a certain content, don't like it. If you don't like you can actually say, I'm not interested or remove this. I had a lot of things that really touched me personally, especially political stuff that I was just like, I don't want to see this ever again. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even have anything related to politics in my feed. But I
And all
agree
you
with
have to
you
do is
100%.
unfollow.
Exactly. Exactly. But see, here's the thing. I'm not even following these people
Yeah. All you
especially
have to
on
do is
Instagram.
hit those little three dots on the corner and just say hide or like,
Yeah,
I don't want to
hide
see
and
any more
block not
like this.
interesting. Yeah, yeah,
I did a social media cleanse and I unfollowed a lot of people. I deleted a lot of people on my Facebook purposely. I mean, quite frankly, it's not that I don't care about you guys, but I put myself first
that's
because
right.
I have goals of where I want to be.
That's right.
Mental health is huge. It's
It
very
is.
important.
It
So,
is. I agree with you 100%. Like, I love my family members, but I deleted them as well. So any last minute advice you have for our listeners out there?
well, one, going off of what we just said, please cleanse your social media. You can thank us later. Please cleanse. I don't care if you're following 2,000 people. Take that time, split it between a few days, and just cleanse out your social media. It's going to do you so good. And I guess, like, lastly, I guess, like, Like I'm an image coach, right? And we're here talking about social media. And I believe that I'm talking to that maybe those few people that can hear me to say, like, it's so important to go out of your comfort zone and out of your element just to even make some kind of presence for yourself. Because you have to think that if you are service based, okay, if you're a service based business owner, that people are going to hire you for you. Okay. Let that sink in. Okay. Let me repeat that. People are not hiring because of your services. They're not going to buy your jam or your marmalade that you just made that, is off the charts. They're going to buy your jam and marmalade because they like you as a person, because they believe in what you do. You're a relatable person. They believe like the products that you use are maybe locally, organically sustained. So like remember that, and that's kind of like my expertise is people hire you. They don't hire you for your products or for your services. You have to be relatable for them to want to hire you. Okay, so
Yes.
rewind and replay what I just said. Okay, people hire you. Okay. And if you need another breakdown, it's think about the last time you hired somebody for their service. Okay, so it could be maybe a nanny, it can be your plumber, it could be the photographer for your wedding. Like, think about the reason, like that last reasoning factor of why you hired them. Most of the time, I feel like the answers could be, oh, their expertise, they're relatable, they have good, like a history, but it's going to be all about them, not the service that they offered. It could be because the plumber was an expert in what he does, So think about that. We get hired us, for us being ourselves and being authentic, not for what we do.
It's so funny you said think about the person you hire. I was thinking about our landscaper, and we met him and everything years ago. But I think the one thing that the reason why we kept him on and we like him so much is because he's so humble. He's very humble and he goes above and beyond. And it's not how much he charges because we always overpay just because he's so helpful. He give us tips, he we don't even we could be asleep and he when he's scheduled to come, he'll be outside and he'll just start working. And we're like, oh, you gonna knock on the door and let us know. He just starts working and getting everything together and is very humble about it, nice, and son as well. So we keep him around and we don't mind paying him way more than what he's asking because we feel like he's worth
Hmm.
that because, he's given so much value.
Mind you, everything you just described has nothing to do with his landscaping skills.
No.
So I want people to think about that. Please think about that.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. That's a good point. Okay, another podcast. I'm going to have you come on maybe about two
I
or
would
three
love
times.
to.
Like, love this conversation. So, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on my website. It's growwiththeresa.com. It's Teresa with no H. And I always offer like a complimentary, just exploratory session with everyone who's even interested, or maybe I've caught your interest somehow, So just shoot me a message on my website and we can get that started.
Awesome. Yes, and we'll definitely link those up in the show notes. Well, thank you, Teresa, so much for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.